So what I want us to do is to start becoming more conscious, start choosing things in a better way for ourselves, and start creating a life that's going to gear us to really take advantage of the opportunities that are going to show up for us in the years to come.
This podcast is brought to you by The Integrated Human. We work up, down, inside out to plug yourself into your potential. If you want to see what we are up to and what's next, sign up to our newsletter or follow us on social media. If you like what we are doing, we really appreciate it if you can like our post on social media and YouTube and help us grow.
All right. Welcome to the Big and Small Podcast. I'm Jason Shields and I'm big.
And I'm Marit Gabrielsen and I'm the tiny one.
Today I have a huge surprise.
It's a big day. It's a big day.
One of my favorite people, a true master, a guy who has lit up my philosophy. He's given me so many beautiful thoughts. He's encouraged my heart when things became insurmountable.
He's a wonderful human being.
He's a wonderful human being. That's
True
just
and
like
true.
We understand that. And not only has he been excellent on the physical level of a sport, he's held the torch for the connectivity, for the community, for the self-improvement aspect of martial arts in general with the Martial Arts Nation. He is a man who has transcended a self-defense art. It became a sport where he was the first world champion in 96. He's taken that into universities, schools. He's made that something that's normal and common for people to take into their lives. He's gone beyond jiu-jitsu into mixed martial arts, where he had the original super successful camps, Brazilian top team, America top team. And if you know MMA, you know who I'm talking about.
The one and only.
The one and only Ricardo Liborio.
That's the time that my face pops up like that.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Wow.
It's so good to be here with you guys. The big and the tiny one.
Yes.
That's us. Unfortunately,
So,
we do not have the great Liborio here with us in studio, but we are on Skype from Orlando.
Yes, where it's freezing, but his heart is warm, so it would be okay.
Yes.
This is what we're saying. We have the discussion there, right, Jason? This winter is breaking records of cold here right now. So right here right now it's 32 degrees, which is probably nothing for you guys, which is 0 Celsius. You guys is nothing for you guys. For here, all the iguanas are falling from the trees and the alligators are freezing. Everything is really chaotic.
Yeah, we should have like a charity where people are knitting mittens for alligators.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
It's true. It is true. Manatees dying.
Oh,
No. It's
That's
a bigger
serious.
thing here right now. The cold is pretty big here in Florida.
Wow.
And it's pretty cold, guys, this time, you know.
Well,
But it's
you have UCF where you implemented jiu-jitsu as an academic study, where you're a professor. How do the people there deal with the cold?
you see that university is really well equipped for all of this. You know, those government buildings are built for, you know, it's a little bit different than residential, and we can say that because you never use heating here.
Exactly.
It's uncommon.
Yeah. So even the insulation in a normal house is not really ready for that kind of temperature, right? But do you still have the odd kid running in shorts and a tank top?
We do have kids coming in with shorts and boots
Yeah.
and snow
Yeah.
jackets, and they have their khakis and they have shorts. You cannot not have shorts here in Florida. It's
That's
still,
true. Yeah.
you know, and the flip flops that we have right now, they're using shoes.
Yeah.
But you're talking about the university. It's so cool to see it because the first class, like it was 4 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago.
For yeah.
You both were there.
Yes.
Yes.
You
Oh, I
both
was
were
so
there for
proud.
the first class. I remember this. You guys remember
Yeah,
how
Yes.
absolutely.
cool
That
it is?
was a momentous occasion for us to step on the mat with you on that first class was such a big honor in our lives and kind of one of those posts you remember forever, you know?
And before that, in our house, if you're here, sit down in this kitchen and then talking
Oh,
about what are we going to be talking, what is what are we should be actually addressing in the first day. Everybody was so nervous. I was very anxious. It was super cool to see it.
oh
I'm telling
man.
you this right now. We started with one class. Now we do have six classes.
Oh,
Six
Wow.
classes.
nice.
And in six classes of 50 students each one.
Wow.
Look at that.
I think if you
Wow.
could implement that everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
And
absolutely.
Jason, the club. Another thing, guys. You guys remember the club?
yeah.
The club has. We started a club with six people. You have no idea how many people do we have in a club now.
Oh, wow.
We have 750 members in a club.
What?
From 6 to 700. That
That's a little bit of an
significant.
explosion. Now this is a little bit of what I wanted to talk about because that's the Lebo effect right there.
Yeah.
That right there is a Lebo effect because
No, I
Oh
can't say
yes.
that's just me. Number one is never just me.
well,
You always have we have a leadership of the students. They're always attracting people. There is a philosophy behind this, but and the jiu-jitsu itself, jiu-jitsu sells. Jiu-jitsu is a good product itself.
that's true.
It attracts people,
Mm,
and I always say this: jiu-jitsu is so new in a certain way, and is westernized. So it modeled to certain philosophies that we have, and majorly number one thing is make people feel welcome coming in.
that's
I
it.
keep saying this, and we all say that jiu-jitsu is the new yoga for tough people.
I like that. I
That
love that.
Yes.
that's it. The people that can handle, be, touch it, and and train, because you're not going to be good at jiu-jitsu doing katas in front of a mirror. You're going to have to put your hands on it and train and be part of it. And you break a sweat. You're going to break a sweat.
Yep.
But that's the yoga for tough people. That the yoga for people can handle this, you know, a little bit more. A
Yeah,
little bit more.
because you have to learn how to relate to other people, right? When you do jujitsu, it's all about who you are, what you have in relationship to a partner, relationship to a group of people, right? So having that relationship training, because that's what rolling or sparring is in jujitsu. It's this is who I am here, and this is who you are, and how are you going to make that work?
And like we talked about in earlier podcast, it's so important for your development as a human to meet yourself. But
Yeah.
how can you meet yourself if you don't interact with other people? And
Yep.
for me, I Jason asked this question the other day in the gym, why you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and he didn't answer. He didn't ask me, but in my head, I answered that I do it for self-development because it's not. I haven't met any other place where you can meet yourself that often and see yourself and see ways to improve and how to become better with other people and how to improve yourself. Because you end up in the same positions over again and over again. And the trust must be high because you're touching each other.
Mm-hmm.
You're
Yeah.
learning to
Yep.
break each other's arms. So you
Yeah.
kind of have to have that trust that this person will not snap my elbow.
Yep.
And you also need to be trustworthy.
That's it. To be
That's
trustworthy
it.
is extremely important, right?
There's so much into this, guys, that we're talking about the process. It's a process to go from there. A lot of people get in for, for health reasons, mentally or physically health. They wanted to do something different, and they find out, okay, there's a martial arts. Let me try something different in here, and they go just to the gym. A lot of people that is not aware of what the sport is, and they come in, but they stay because of the philosophies and in the community. 100%. Especially if you're in a good place. Like you go to your gym, you can feel. I've been there. You know, you can feel the camaraderie. You can feel the brotherhood, the sisterhood, the community itself. It's much more than just competition.
Mm.
You do have this aspect of the competition, and it's good to have it in a certain way. Is legitimacy. Like you guys for a long time, you were in a pursuit of world championships.
Yep.
You guys competed in the world championships many times.
Yes.
You know, so that legitimacy is good in a way because you dig deep into the roots of what have brought the sport to X successful as it is today. But like Meredith said, is it can be about the medals and trophies. It can. And at one point, stop being about that.
Exactly.
Have to stop because your body can't handle or you change the key and it's just for me we talk about this, Jason. For me it was important because I grew up in this environment of a competition.
Yeah.
I did not know anything besides the medals and trophies until I started getting second thoughts about, okay, what is the process, what's now,
Yeah.
what is now? Now from competitor was okay. Now I'm going to be a good coach. I'm going to be a good teacher. I'm going to be, and from the high performers, from world champion, I started training world champions, and from there on is okay. What it's now. What's now is the educational process, is the self improvement process, but it's
Exactly.
not. It is not too clear. It's not too clear for so many reasons. One of the reasons that the sport is so new
Yeah.
that there is no educational process. Like I always cite the example because it's true. Is um, judo was born and was created by an educator that put judo in the educational system right away.
Mm.
The educational system, kids, and teenagers and even adults. It was an educational system.
Yeah.
So it had to fit in so many models, the educational model coming from A to Z, but also regardless, you got to bring in all those values that they got to stand for. Well, jiu-jitsu wasn't based on that. Jiu-jitsu had no even nomenclature, no pedagogy behind that. There was no, it was tough. It was efficient. It was
Yeah.
fighting. It was honor, defending this and that. But there was did not pass through that process of okay, how we can, what we improve here,
Yeah.
how how kids can benefit, how people that came in that were not going to be competitors will benefit from the sport itself. So this revolution, it was not long ago.
Yeah, I was going to ask when, because you were there at the beginning. You sat and ate dinner with Helio Gracie and Carlos Gracie and Carlson, and you've been in that process with them from the beginning. So you get to see the transformation. At what point, how long ago did that transformation from just being basically the best fighter to becoming a martial art for self-development, how long ago did that happen? And were there actual conversations, or was it something that just happened organically?
No, I think it was the transformation of the sport when it came to United States.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think I think when the Gracies moved up here and the opportunities started showing up, and when they started seeing that, we all know that the high performance is a micro percentage of what the sport is.
Mm.
But this is as a real statistic from IBJJF. Only 3% of people that train jiu-jitsu trains for competition. Only
Exactly.
3%. 97% it is recreational self-improvement, health. So 97% of people are not training to compete.
Right.
But that wasn't in the beginning. Or even that, you got to understand this. Um, those statistics that came from IBJJF,
Hmm.
it comes from an organization that it's solely de- devout to competition.
Yes, that's what
You
they
know,
do.
that's what they do. They are
Yeah.
a company
Yeah.
that provides, it creates events.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
what it is.
So when they do the market analysis, they have to know those statistics. So that's
Correct.
science.
That's it.
That's
So their
science.
demographics is 3%.
Yeah.
Their demographics, 97% is all right. It's people that are doing it, but they're really not competing. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this because for those guys that are not competing, you have to have an incentive. An incentive has to be um, better prepared instructors, better prepared guides or leaders on their community that have to understand the necessities of this demographics.
Mm.
And the necessity of the demographics, for example, man, you hit the spot. It's self improvement,
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
because for sure you have your days of competition or high performance athlete counted.
Hmm.
You can't get to my age of 57 years old to competing in a high performance or thinking that your body is going to handle, and you got to find a reason to be there in a match.
Yeah.
I do have this, my inspiration, my guide, my start is really into helping people. And
Yeah.
sorry about that, I guess. Can you see me?
Uh,
No, we can't see you right
the
now.
video
You,
disappeared, but we can still hear
we
you.
can hear you. There
Okay,
There
you
you
are.
are.
sorry.
All
Hey.
right.
Um, but I do believe that we're helping so many others, to improve their lives, their quality of life for people that really had never have any physical activities or have some major issues with the stress, anxiety, depression. I think this is the way to go now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the integrated human, we talk about this whole concept of yoga pants yoga, meaning that people think that they are doing something for themselves as long as they have the right incense and they have the right pants and they have the right room. Then, but as soon as they walk out into their everyday life and they actually test whether their meditation helped them, they get smacked in the face. Whereas other people who are doing, yoga light or meditation light, they'll meditate for years and keep themselves out of stress. But as soon as they walk into stress, they collapse. But in jiu-jitsu, you get to all the time test how are you handling the moment? How are you handling the relationship with the outside world on the mat, which then is a metaphor for your life. And you can choose to avoid all the tough people. You can choose to avoid all the tough roles. But in reality, sooner or later, in a small or a big gym, you're going to meet challenges that you can't necessarily dominate. And then you have to figure out, who am I in those moments?
We just lost him.
Oh no.
This is the thing with having like live recordings.
Yes.
So we'll see how long this take.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll be back in
Yeah.
just an
Well,
instant.
we need to keep it going because we're still recording.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah. No, but that's the like we talked about in the beginning. The reason why I now continue with this sport is because of the self-development aspects of it.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to test where your mental emotional state is. And that is so desperately important.
There we are.
Guys,
All
can you hear me?
right. There
No
you are.
problem.
Cool.
We
No
just
worries.
kept rolling.
Yep.
I'm sorry, I don't know. Hold on. I still have to get my, hold on for a second.
It's important to keep it real.
Well,
And
that's the whole
what we're all
point. This
about.
is life. This is life right here.
So then the question is, did you manage to keep your meditative state?
I did.
Oh, good job.
I
Hello?
did.
Let's see if we can get him on here. We shouldn't be too quiet for too long, because like we got a comment once that if you took too quiet too long, I think I hit pause on my recording on Spotify.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good.
Can't have people putting us on pause, Marit.
No, we can't
Come
have
on
that.
now. But the whole point is that, you know, people go through. There's this old story about a yogi who's been meditating for years and years in the Himalayas, and he comes down to Diwali, which is the celebration of lights, and he ends up getting stepped on because it's thousands. We're talking like thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of people going towards the Ganges river, and then somebody steps on his foot, and he gets angry. He's like, and he realizes, oh no, I have to go back and meditate, right? So the whole point is that you can go your whole life and not know if you've actually evolved.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yes.
hold on. I just, for some reason, I cannot hear you guys again.
Well,
Okay.
we just keep talking.
No problem.
Yeah.
No problem. Yeah.
But that's the thing, because
Yeah.
I think we talk a lot about meditation with people, and like I said, I don't necessarily like the word meditation because I think it's so loaded, but it is what it is. And a lot of people, when they think they have to quiet the mind or escape the mind,
Yeah.
but it's about keeping present.
And exactly. And a lot of people think that the meditation practice should take you away from your life.
But it should
Take you
take
away
you
from
more into your life.
exactly. You find the flow in your everyday.
That's the most important
That's
thing.
it.
So
Guys, we're back.
we're back.
Right,
Good.
yes.
Well, we were just talking about how important it is to be able to keep calm.
Yeah.
So when we have these issues now, it disappeared again. We have some connection issues.
Yes. We are connected, but the internet's
Internet is not.
Right.
Let's see here.
Here we go.
Here.
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, we have to flow with the go and go with the flow. We're
Like
good.
we say, we are total human beings. We live total lives.
Yeah.
People that you're gonna see when you look at this, we do not we do not edit.
Yeah,
because it's
just-
about being honest.
Yeah.
You know
that's
what's
what it
funny? You know what's funny about this? Look at that. You know, this is it's almost like you learn a lot from the sport itself. Look, even this thing here, we have technical difficulties, right?
Yeah.
What is this that can make you anxious because of technical difficulties? But what is this in the great scheme of things?
Nothing.
Right.
Nothing.
Exactly.
This
It's
is
nothing.
Yes. And
It really is nothing.
and not
So
only-
you be stressed out about this and no,
exactly. And
go with the flow. Like you're right.
yeah, and we are together. That's it. You know, Liborio, just having spent even a few minutes with you has been amazing for me. And I get to spend even more minutes with you. I'm super stoked.
I love that too, guys. I love that. I love that vibe. I love to be around you guys. I like
Thank you.
the positivity, and you can feel it.
Thank
And
you.
even with that, let's put it this way. There's so much that you can do is parallel to what we do in the sports itself, right? It's in a sport itself. There's no way that you can grow without friction or stress. There's no way that you can be good at jiu-jitsu without going over there and face the best. Or
Exactly.
people that want to be the best. And
Yes.
you want to be a champion, okay? You go there and you face the champions and you face the best of the best.
Yeah.
And now you can say that you're the best of the best. And the best day that you are, and you have it and other people are having it, you end up and rise above. If it's the case, all this you can't do it without discipline, and you can do it without friction, and expose yourself there. It's impossible.
Exactly. And feeling comfortable with being uncomfortable, right?
Correct.
And because life is always going to throw you a wrench, it's always going to give you a technical difficulty. There's always going to be 5 things that you need to do right now, but you can't because of 5 things. And it's like, being able to be yourself and deal with the fact that you have to deal with one thing at a time and move forward. That's it.
I saw this, and it makes me think. Um, Confidence comes a lot with the practice. Confidence comes with practice.
Yes.
Confidence comes with the fact that you know that you've been doing not just your best, but also you have the discipline to rise above. It creates confidence, gives you confidence. But confidence is not just about the previous part of it. Confidence comes a lot to do is knowing that even if you lose, you'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. Good point.
You can try, and if it doesn't work, you'll be okay because you know you have the discipline to keep trying.
Yes.
You just keep going it, and the sports takes you there because it's impossible to be in the sport and you not have tapped before.
Oh, that's it.
Huh?
Yeah, right?
I never tapped.
Well,
Never.
That's the first thing I say to everybody here. Like, okay, I'm the black belt in the club that we have here at Black Belt Under You. I'm super proud. And I always ask, okay, who here thinks that they've been submitted more than everybody else? And I raise my hand first. And who here do you think's been submitted and lost more than everybody else combined in this room? That's me.
Probably, yes.
Yes, that's the point. That's how you become good at something.
I
right?
never lose.
Yeah.
I always win.
Oh.
Even when I lose, I gain and learn.
Right. Oh, well
Quoting
said,
someone
well
about
said.
something here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the winner's mind right there.
That's it. Never lost, but when I do, I learn about it, so it's a win anyway.
Well, I think it's so amazingly beautiful because at least in our club, and I think in that's come from you. I noticed that when we met you the first time that this is from you. We got it. Is that to have such a safe environment where you get put you get expanded all the time. Your capacity expands. Your mental capacity, your emotional capacity, always expands, but in a very safe environment.
Yes.
And you always is always safe.
Yes.
And extremely efficient because, like we talk about in normal life, if it's a street that you feel uncomfortable walking down, or if it's a store you don't want to go to, or you don't want to meet that person, you can always change routes. But the issue or it takes very long time until the same situation appears again, because there's a lot of things that needs to happen. But in jiu-jitsu, you get the same constellation over and over and over again in very rapid time. So you get to see those situations maybe 6 times in a week instead of 2 times in 6 months.
Yeah, you get confronted often with the same issue.
So at one point you're gonna go,
Gotta level up.
I need to change this. I need to change this. And this is how me and Jason actually worked with my process. Was that in my competitions, I at one point went, I need to fix this. And it was never a technique. It was always my thought patterns or my emotional patterns. We need to fix this now because now I'm so much in my own way. We need to fix it. Yeah. But I would never have gotten that experience without jiu-jitsu because I would do everything I could to avoid those situations. And I would bury myself in Netflix and bad news online and Instagram and TikTok just to avoid the situations. But on the mat,
avoid yourself.
Avoid myself most of all. Yeah. But in jiu-jitsu, you can't.
Yeah, you get put there.
And that's so wonderful.
Yeah, it is.
It's the comfort of pleasure is, which a lot of people get trapped into it. It's very easy to be trapped into comfort.
Yes.
And it's a defense. It's normal. It's a defense. It's something that people feel like sometimes you're even entitled. If you were born in a place that you were so surrounded with those fortress of comfortability, You know,
Mm-hmm.
you don't even know where's the source of food, or the fact that you have that and you have electricity, you have water. We're very we're very spoiled in a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Just go back a little bit in time, a little bit. It's not even 200 years ago. You guys imagine how it was. Imagine how it was to try to live in Florida without the air conditioner,
Oh
Wow.
my
or
God. That
Wow.
would
or
be warm.
in Norway without heating.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
worse.
yeah,
Cold with it, but really a proper heating. Is like it's crazy.
yeah. It is.
It's crazy, and but people don't think of it, especially if you were born like
Mm.
in this generation right now. We are born into technology in a way that you don't need to do much. I mean, you don't need to really write pretty well.
No.
You,
No.
it autocorrect goes there and it fix that for you. You
Yeah.
have an AI nowadays that if you ask for, write me the email, it's going to write the email for you.
Yeah.
And I
It's so
think this
crazy.
is not wrong. Understand this. This
Yeah.
is not wrong.
Yeah.
This is fine. This is technology. It
Yeah.
is generation. It is future. For
Yeah.
me, future. That this is what it is. There's no bad sentiment of that. It's just
Mm.
the evolution.
Yeah.
It's part of it. But when you put something like jujitsu in your life, you kind of bring back to primal,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you're defending for your life, you're trusting your community. There are so many things right there that you come back to something that for an IT guy that lives in a computer and algorithms and things like that, this is so foreigner.
Yeah. It is.
Imagine if somebody so foreigner for somebody who just living on a pen or living in a typing world, and now this guy's doing the physical activity that it's prime as fighting or defend yourself
Yeah.
or attacking, that may be so out of their mind.
Yeah.
You know, when
That's
you
it.
come back to, yes,
Yeah, yeah, I was gonna say that's it. That's exactly it because just even think about Google. Like when you and I grew up, right? Your friend
yeah,
would say, he'd say something like, "There are more people alive today than has ever died. Than has ever died," and you'd be like, "Hold on a second, that kind of sounds right, but doesn't sound right," and you'd have a discussion around it, right? You'd be like, "Okay, you're saying that more people are alive today than have ever died because there's more and more people alive." And then you start thinking about it, right? And you have a conversation with each other. Is that true or not true? And you start doing some math and you bring your logic to it and you have a conversation. And whether or not it's right, the conclusion, the guy who kind of defended himself the best, came with the ideas that you believe in most, whatever, it's like, okay, we accept his idea if that's true or not true for the moment. But today people Google. They
yeah,
just Google. So
that's
they're
true.
either right
Or
or they're
wrong.
wrong. And they don't go through the process of negotiating ideas,
Mm,
having a conversation, defending their position, telling other people why it's like this. They don't have
mm,
the discipline of putting together a chain of thoughts. It's more like, are you right or you're wrong? And if you're right, you're right. If you're wrong, you're dumb, you know? And it's such a strange disassociation, right? So jujitsu gives you that opportunity to work through that process. Is your technique good enough? You know?
that's true. You see it right there. You're right there. You see it. It's something that's, again, it's proved. It's prime. It's proved. At the same time, you see this thing about the Google. You're so right about what you just said it right now. But at the same time, look at this. It's doubting the discussions or saying this. But everybody's trusting a tool
Yeah.
that
Yes.
that tool is right.
Exactly. And they're not able to, they don't have an exercise the
Yeah.
ability to think themselves, right?
It's I believe that was something that in the old days that the truth that comes from radio was
Mm,
the ultimate truth
mm.
and the ultimate information. It was 100% true, and we know that it's not like this.
Right.
People manipulate things, and
Oh, yeah.
it's part of it. Yeah, it's part of life.
Yeah, it is.
And at the same time, you can't lie in a match. You can't, you know.
You can run, but you can't hide.
Yeah, you can run or you can hide, but you get used to our realities. I think we can learn a lot from the sport is that you got used to deal with losses,
Yeah, you
on an
have to.
everyday basis.
That's
And
it.
at the same time, a loss today doesn't mean a loss tomorrow,
No.
you know. But you gotta get used to losing and keeping on going. You gotta keep doing it without quitting
Yeah.
and finding sense of I keep doing it. This is reality. This is reality. When I say, um, Mike, this is our parallel is so different than than let's say you mentioned what do you mention? You mentioned the yoga, and
Yeah.
you mentioned what it was. Oh my gosh, it's escaping me the word right now.
Or
It's
the yoga pants, like the yoga pants yoga.
yeah,
It's like I got my
and you
equipment, therefore I'm good.
and yoga, but there's yoga and meditation and
Meditation,
Yes.
yes.
meditation. So you can meditate a lot.
Yeah.
And when you bump into something that you need a meditation, it may work, yeah,
Yeah.
or you may collapse, like you're saying.
Yeah.
But when you're training, you better find a solution fast.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
not, you're gonna get smashed.
Yep.
And even if you get smashed, okay, it's part of the game. All right, let's go back again. And
That's
you're
it.
but you're gonna have facing the smashing more often, like you
Yes.
said, then actually the meditation to prepare yourself when the problem arrives.
Mm.
Exactly.
I'm not saying there's bad or right or good or bad. No, no. I'm just saying that in a sport of jiu-jitsu, you are being tapped or being smashed more often than you actually facing, like you said, major problems. So you get used to losing it by repetition, by
Exactly.
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know, by practice.
Yeah.
And you better do something mentally with this because you will get smashed. Like I'm telling you right now, you can be the best in the world. You can be the number one guy in the world. Number one guy in the world. If he gets tired, guarantee you that number three, number four, that's not as tired is going to be smashing the number one guy or the guy who has a different game on it. And you, even if being number one, you know, per se, because you won a tournament and defines that you're number one, you will not be number one all the time.
That's it.
If it makes sense. So you
Yeah.
gotta get used to losing it
Yeah.
without losing faith, without losing stamina of a keeping on going, which is just life.
Exactly.
Life is like this.
And this is coming from a guy who is number one. Like we're talking
The
about Ricardo Liborio. He's
original.
original number one. He understands that
I can say
process.
that I was really good at one time, and I really was good at one time, but the definition is really the landscape changes so fast.
Mm.
Yeah.
It
That's
is
it.
so fast. The landscape changes pretty fast.
Which
And at
I'm sorry,
go
but I was
ahead.
just going to say, which shows that one or other achievement is not the necessarily the goal. It's who you become because the landscape changes, and
Correct.
then so must you. And
Correct.
yeah,
And
and
that
that's
is
Correct.
the wonderful process that we
yeah,
see on the mat and we had ourselves. And I remember the other day, it's just because I used it myself, like I said, as a self-development tool and to get just really clear repetitions and feedback on what's working and not working. But now I start to see that in others. So the other day, a guy was rolling and he was, well, you guys know what I'm talking about. So sorry if you listen to this and you don't do jiu-jitsu, but he had a close guard and he was going for the pendulum sweep, but didn't have the shoulder control. But he had enough control so he would be able to work from there. But then he was hanging from the side and just shaking his head, freezing and shaking his head. And I just went over to him and just stop self-hating, dude. Stop shaking your head. always when you are in a half good situation, you shake your head.
Why are you doing that?
Why are you doing that to yourself? You do not deserve this.
Yeah.
Stop self-hating.
Yeah. There's a lot of self-sabotaging and self-hating that people
it wasn't
are confronted
perfect.
with.
It was still had to work with it, and he just hanging there like a fallen fruit, shaking his head over and not moving. I said, stop shaking your head and use that energy to move.
But you see, but look at this. This is the therapeutical side of this.
Yes.
And this is what we're talking about, people being more observant of that. I'm talking about instructors.
Yeah.
If instructors can be observant of that and you create analysis on what's happening and make awareness, make the guy aware of this like you just did it. Maybe the guy has a parallel. If the guy's open-minded and he can see the benefits, the therapeutic benefits of that, it was like, okay, yeah, she's right. Maybe I am being too harsh on myself. I did something really good probably 6 months ago. It's like I could not do even 10% of this, but I want more. Okay, I understand the necessity or your ambition to get more, but if you don't understand time is just frustration, you know? But sometimes what it takes is somebody like you or the instructor say, guys, watch this. Try to improve that. Take a look at where you were. Take a look at where you are right now. Stop self-hating and see self-improvement and keep on going. Sometimes this is like, oh, the epiphany, the light bulb pops up there. But this is what I'm saying, this analysis on training more professionals, more instructors, more professors to realize the benefits of that. It is extremely important because this is definitely a therapy.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And
even if you don't realize at first, but how much more we're saying, how much more we define, how much we converse and more, not just conversing, because conversing is excellent, but people may not believe in what we're saying. People believe in facts and people believe in research.
yeah, that's it.
That's why the university is so important because it can prove to an academic mind that no, this is improving lives. This is improving physically, mentally, spiritually, for us,
Absolutely.
You got to in a certain way prove this in academic world through researches. Is the physical activity helps you mentally? Yes.
Yeah.
It's proven.
Lifesaver. It is
Absolutely.
absolutely lifesaver.
And that's the thing that you were talking about. You're the first world champion. You take this, the landscape changes, but the things that you became allowed you then to become a person who built Brazilian top team, American top team, hundreds and hundreds of black belts who now serve the community. You got jiu-jitsu and this martial arts therapy into a place where the university can study it scientifically and will. There's like 300 PhDs for sure waiting for somebody who just wants to jump into jiu-jitsu and start testing. Both, psychologically, sociologically, physiologically, any of those guys are just going to have I almost want, if I didn't love treating my patients, I would move to Orlando just to do research there on the club. Of course I'd take you with me.
I'm building no.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Love Orlando.
She
This is
won't
not
allow
work.
that.
Not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Don't worry. But it was just in fantasy world.
Yeah. it's a fantasy.
Okay. I can live
We
with that.
allow it.
But all of that came out of you presenting yourself in a changing landscape. The qualities that you built, being disciplined and fighting adversity and looking for opportunity and all of those things, that mental, emotional toughness that you got created so much good for the people around you for generations and generations and generations. It's amazing.
Jason, it's not just me. I think the sport itself, like I say, is a good product. Jiu-jitsu is a good product.
Yeah, but you need to have a good salesman to have a good product. Doesn't mean doesn't help. You are the example.
You are the example.
You are you. So thank God. But we feel you.
Yeah.
And you can see it around you. Everything you created, the
Yeah, but
people
you guys
around
are
you.
you guys are my DNA. I'm very proud, honestly. I'm very proud too. One thing I'm prime myself into is I think is my love for community. I I like community. I like people in a certain way, but all the craziness and with all the problems that we have it, I love when we build up a community in a way to help each other. Understanding, that's actually just how growth is. Everything it comes ups and downs, and with all the craziness that the human beings have, all the emotionals, roller coasters that we live through. It, you can't think about just the goods.
Mm.
They're not just the goods, the good days and bad days. The thing is to find the reason and the stamina to keep on going. That's the most important thing. And jujitsu and discipline
Yeah.
shows you that.
That's it.
Discipline is when you started jujitsu because you were inspired by someone or something.
Mm.
And after that, you have motivation because you see somebody winning and you have you read a book or something like you find motivation to keep on going.
Mm.
But is in the end, is discipline, they're going to keep you doing what you do.
Yeah.
Is the reason why you wake up in the morning and you brush your teeth. It's just discipline. You're conditioned to things.
Exactly. And if people get emotionally empty or exhausted, then their motivation disappears, but your discipline can keep you moving. That's correct.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. 100%.
That's it.
You have inspiration to start something. You have motivation to keep going. But when the motivation is gone, you gotta have discipline.
Yeah. That's
And
it.
and if you don't have discipline, I always say that, if you don't have discipline, you got to think you better find discipline to feed your kids.
Yeah.
You better find discipline to take care of your dogs. You
Yeah.
better find discipline to just strike something in your business world, in your career. Because if you don't have that, if you don't have discipline and you decide to do whatever you wanted to do it's just you can't survive.
Yeah.
You
That's
just
it.
not survive it. You
Yeah.
just don't.
That's it.
And we just got to keep going. And for that, this understanding, when you really understand that life is going to hit you hard,
Mm-hmm.
as you're going to lose things, and you got to find that discipline or motivation.
Yeah.
Just keeping it yourself and a smile, and without losing in your core, without losing it. And we're all going to lose one time, right?
Yeah.
We're all going to lose. Stress is going to build up, and a sadness is going to bump it, or happiness. You're going to get out of your state of calm.
Yeah.
And it's okay as long as you find yourself back in, or by discipline or by understanding.
Yeah.
I believe that. I really truly believe that getting older helped me a lot in many different ways of understanding more of life, and being okay with it, because there's nothing else you can do. You got to be okay with it. You got to enjoy the best moments and try to pass through the worst moments.
That's it.
And you just do this through discipline and acceptance.
Yeah.
Acceptance, like you accept it when you tap. You accept that.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Yeah.
It's all right to lose as long as you don't quit. If you
Yeah.
quit, you're a loser.
Exactly.
If you quit, that's it. You just lose when you quit.
Mm.
And that's it. And life has a lot to do with it.
Totally
I think
agree.
there's so much philosophy into this, and I think we're in the right time, in the right moment, because I really believe that this is just started. That part of the sport just started. That change of the defining the philosophy behind everything else, because they didn't have it before. You
That's
know,
it.
not in this way.
Not in this
No,
way.
and I think I hope my dream for the world would be that you get jiu-jitsu in from what do you call it in English, kids school, like
Yeah, from children's school, from
from
elementary
children's school,
school.
from elementary school, because we live in society now where like you said, we don't have handwriting anymore because we do this thing on your computer, but we don't touch each other, we don't have connection with each other, physical connection, and we need that. It like if you go to prison, the worst thing that can happen is isolation, but we
Yeah.
are in one way isolated,
Yeah.
and to have like 2 hours a week where you get to touch each other, hug each other, strangle each other a little bit, like yeah, but it's so healthy.
It's
So
very healthy.
and I think it would be good for the educational system also, because you're more relaxed afterwards. You to get that in for kids,
Be amazing.
that would be life changing.
Now, Libo, I have a question. Now, this may be an easy question to answer, or I don't know. I've always wanted to ask you this question,
Sure.
and that is that now you were able to create a environment around you for jiu-jitsu, and you have a lot of amazing people who have come out of your dojo, your trainings, amazing black belts, amazing competitors, amazing people. You transcended that and moved into MMA because of course, Carlos Gracie was more into lucha libre, and it was a natural transition because jiu-jitsu basically broke the fighting world because it was just so high level, and you guys were so efficient and so tough that it was just next level. And you moved from that camp, the Carlos Gracie, and you were able to get the Brazilian top team moving. And then when you moved to America, you got American team moving as well. And all of these camps, when you were there, were producing champions and champions and champions. But people don't understand that it's not just about a champion. It's about a whole group of people creating that. So, but behind all that was a person, and his name was Ricardo Liborio. So what...
Not just one. There was a lot of guys.
Well, a lot of guys, but it's strange when that person moves and then suddenly another champion
Or
factory
is it
starts.
because everywhere you are, there
You
are?
Exactly. You brought that there. What do you feel was the major quality that you brought to these things, or what was the major atmosphere that created the success in those groups of people? Because when people come to those environments, they're not necessarily born to be champions. There's a lot that has to happen with a person to make them ready to step into their destiny or to step into championhood. What was special, and what was it in your heart that was able to create these things?
No, I really think there was the why. The why. And in times of high performance, my why was a little bit different. There is a component of the competition has a component that you can't deny. If you're going to compete, you got to create it's stressful. It's stressful. I mean, you got to create a champion's mind.
Yeah.
The champion's mind is about winning.
Yeah.
Winning has to be in costs. Again, winning, understanding that you're going to lose. Winning is not every day. Winning for guys like this is prepare yourself to win at that moment.
Yes, that's it.
It does not mean that you're going to lose during training, which is I have seen it. I have seen it at all, guys, in terms of high performance. A person that did not perform well in the gym and perform well, tremendously well in competition. There's people that hide both of their natural skills. There is a lot, but you do have to have, there is a recipe of a competition set that you've got to create. It's competition, like it or not, involvement with technology. Technology, I mean, is research. Is this thing works? Is conditioning
Yeah.
is a type of technology? Yes. You know, you prepare somebody technically, is one thing. Prepare somebody physically
Hmm.
is another thing.
Yeah.
Nowadays, you prepare somebody mentally. There's so much more research and there's more therapy nowadays for athletes than ever had,
Yeah.
ever was before. There's so much in the technological side that can bring into a high performance competitor. All this is important because you cannot just scrap there and just put those guys to fight. It's
Mm.
not just about that. It's the technique improves, the research improves, the conditioning improves,
Yeah.
the everything improves, and you have to be update to that.
Yes.
Update to that, you have to be researching and study all the time.
Yeah.
And you can't do this without creating an environment that people are going to be really training hard.
Yeah.
You can't. Cannot. You cannot be a champion without put yourself out there. It just
Exactly.
can't. And the champions are made of, again, guys, champions are made of discipline.
Hmm.
Champions are made of understanding that you're not going to win every time. You're not a superhero, but your mind has to build up the superhero image. Your mind have to understand that in the moment that you're stepping in and your desire to win has to be just so big that you have to take completely every cell of your body. You have to desire to win
Yeah.
or necessity to win, obsession to win. And every negative thought can be more important than this obsession,
Mm.
this feeling. And you build up to that.
Mm.
And you give an athlete high, high performer training with technology, with the mental and and showing up what is the goal is, you have a good recipe for champion.
Mm.
But you can't sustain this without a couple things. You can't sustain this without leadership.
Hmm.
You can't sustain this without the why. Why are you doing this?
Hmm.
Why are you putting so much time into this? Why are you putting everything into this?
Mm.
What's your what you wanted to accomplish with that? What is? And we had it in a certain way. We had it. It's it's a guess to a point that, for example, in the moment that I did it, and in the moment that I really actually be able to replicate a couple things that I have done in my own life, you know, you realize that now you're moving to a new cycle. Nowadays, for me, like you're saying, imagine if this sport was in many schools.
Mm.
But with all the tools to get to the academic system, you have to prove to the academics
Hmm.
that this is really actually is good for kids, it's
Mm.
good for teenagers, it's good for people that have more necessities than just the medal.
Yeah.
The medal is
Exactly.
important, but the medal is 3%.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
had like I was
Yeah.
very surprised that it's 97% because we've
Yeah,
been so into the competition bubble that
Yeah.
we've been in
Exactly.
those 3%.
Yeah. The whole time.
And
Yeah.
now we're kind of moving out of that ourselves to
Yeah.
yep,
to do actually help more people
Yeah.
basically.
That's it.
exactly,
Um,
exactly. To
so
help more people, exactly.
yes,
Because
and
some people will never be. Some people will never be champions. It's
most
not
people
even.
won't
Some people will never want
apparently.
to compete.
Most people won't apparently. If it's 97% that do not compete.
Yeah,
I'm like,
exactly. And then, the way jiu-jitsu competitions and the International Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu Federation work is that people show up and half the people go home after the first fight
Yeah,
because it's one and
yeah,
done. Like half
It's
the people are
very
gone. And
brutal.
then the next fight, half the people are gone. And then next fight, half the people again are gone. So some people will compete like Brandon Mullins. He competed, what was it, 170 times before he made it past his first fight. And now he's a world champion in no-gi,
yeah,
black belt, the whole thing. It was very interesting,
yeah.
and he obviously had a big reason to continue, but the point is to meet adversity, and you can do that
Yeah.
without competition. You can do that just by showing up
So for me too, I think about this sometimes. Well, in 1996, we have 36 people in our weight division. In the weight division, look at 36. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Mm.
There was nothing. There was 36 black belts in the division.
Mm.
36.
Yeah.
But there was one champion.
Yeah. That's it.
35 people got out of there without the gold
Yep.
medal.
That's right.
Is that 35 guys there losers?
No.
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 The guy who just did, the guy who just can say, like you just did it, I competed at the world championships.
Yeah.
Holy moly, man, this is major.
Yeah. Totally.
It takes courage, at least. You gotta get out of your comfort zone to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
At least it's to create a big dosage of uncomfortability and courage
Yeah.
and bravery to be there.
Oh, absolutely.
Bravery, because you got to deal with your ghosts after that.
Yep. That's it.
Um, that's it.
Yeah.
And and my props to everybody who try it.
Mm.
Because like Merit was saying this, a lot of people is going to avoid this.
Mm.
Tons of people is going to avoid this, not just because they cannot do it. It's just avoiding because the ghosts will be there,
Mm.
and you have to deal with the ghost of losing it and face yourself in a mirror, because sometimes you build up this image of yourself in a mirror,
Mhm.
and you believe in that until you got smashed, and now you
Yeah.
have to rethink.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oi.
You got to rethink.
Yeah.
And that's so painful to do.
It is. It is.
Every
Yeah,
time.
it is. It
Until
is.
you
But
actually
if
start
you
to
have,
love it.
but if you
Because,
have discipline, Merit,
yeah, it's not a problem.
that's what we're saying. The confidence, it doesn't come just knowing that you can do it.
Mm.
Confidence comes when you know that it did not work and you're still gonna be okay.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
That's confidence. That's a major confidence. The major confidence that you can, okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work, I'm not talking about being a champion. If it doesn't, even high level champions, guys that go out there and talk major trash. One thing about those guys is that they'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Guys like Conor McGregor, you like it or not, he goes there, he talks major crap about everything and trash talk, but then when he loses, he already have his script. He already moving on.
Mm-hmm.
He's already keeping thinking about how he can improve and whatever it is there, and he's gonna fight again.
Yeah, that's exactly.
So that's major confidence. That's major
confidence.
major confidence in knowing that not just you can win, major confidence in knowing that if you did not win, you will survive.
Mm.
You
That's
know,
it.
that problems comes to you and you will survive.
Yeah,
You'll be okay.
exactly.
That's beautiful though. That's
I-
beautiful.
I have one last question for you. This is, again, one of those strange questions. I think this is going to be very important for me personally, so I'm being selfish here. But there's also...
It's our podcast.
Yeah, okay, then.
We can do whatever we
I have my master here. I have to talk to him, The question, and this is going to be more important for people as we get more and more adult black belts who they go from being an athlete champion to becoming a trainer, motivator, a trainer, instructor, and in the end, basically a leader in a community. Because that's really the progression in jiu-jitsu. And you are definitely a leader of communities, plural. You've taken that next level. You're not just a leader of one community, but many communities.
I'm trying, still trying.
Oh man, you're doing amazing.
All I can do is try.
You're the greatest example, of heart and discipline. But this is a strange question in a way, but it's very important because you are using more of your time watching people and instructing them and watching people transform and helping people take it to the next level. I noticed that you're in great shape. How do you stay in shape when before you were beast moding on the mat all the time, proving your jiu-jitsu, but now it's proven. Now you're spending a lot more time instructing on the mat instead of doing the exercise. How do you find time in your busy schedule as a professor, as a family man, as a business owner, as a developer of jiu-jitsu, as a political contact, as a leader? Where do you find time to keep in such great shape?
It's not. I'm not in great shape. In great shape comparing with what we had it.
Well, that's different. Yeah,
It
because
is
that
hard.
was
It is a different.
yeah,
It's a different story.
world class
But
shape.
it's
Different. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. You're
It's
in good
okay.
shape.
It's okay. It's okay for me because this is the evolution of my time in
Mm-hmm.
terms of, yeah, I'm 57 years old. I can't be a 24-year-old kid,
No, 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 no.
training for 7 hours a day. It's just not going to work. It's okay. I'm fine with that. That page is turned. I turned that page a long ago. Well, again, for me, I have to find a reason to do it. I have physical problems. You know
Mm.
that I do have major back issues. I have
Mm.
nine herniated discs.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Nine. It's
yeah,
not two, it's not three. I have nine.
yeah,
Nine. And I gotta be careful with that. So
yeah.
for me right now, major point right now for exercising, it is to actually training with my kids, the white belts and things like that. I cannot go train with a heavyweight guy.
No.
I cannot go train with. I can drill with him. I cannot train. It's just if I do, I will be hurt for the last week,
Yeah,
and I will not work because I can walk.
yeah,
But it's okay. I'm okay with that, and
yeah,
they are okay with that too.
yeah.
I don't need to prove anything. I
No.
just and my age too helps me in a certain way because what are we going to do? It's a 20-year-old is going to beat up a 60-year-old guy. Oh, okay, great.
Sorry.
It's okay if it's good for you. It's okay. I even want to try to help you with that
Yeah,
because
right.
if you're doing everything right, the full circle is going to happen, and you're going to be there, and you better understand what's happening when a young guy is coming over.
Mm.
But right now, for me, and just in terms of a conditioning, again, going back to the basics, which is discipline.
Yeah,
Find
that's it.
1 hour a day to do something that's for you.
Mm.
And you gotta do it. And you can't do it in a certain intensity. You just can't.
Mm.
Go ahead. If you maybe your mind desire for you to keep doing what you wanted to do it, when you're 20 years old, it's okay.
Mm.
But I don't think the body is gonna accept that.
No.
And if you don't understand that, man, you don't understand what life is.
Exactly.
It's impossible for you not to lose it in a certain moment. And if you're not okay with this, you don't understand life. You don't understand jiu-jitsu itself. You got to just keep on going.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you got to find a reason to quit.
Yeah, that's it.
Imagine this. If you are a costume and you have 10 5-minute rolls that you do it every day, 10
Mhm.
minutes, 5-minute roll.
Yeah.
But you used to do it 10 5-minute rolls with black belts.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't do it with the black belts anymore. You
Mm.
gotta put blue belts over there, But you still doing your 10 minutes, 10,
Exactly.
5 minutes roll, but with the blue belts.
Exactly.
And if you see this as a loss, you will find a reason to quit.
Exactly.
If you quit, you loses everything.
Yeah.
And if you quit, is because you did not absorb humility of the sport that was going to show you so much.
Exactly.
You got to be humble enough to one point understand that. Okay, you just got to be humble and disciplined enough to just keep on going. That's what it makes us. That's what it makes us what we are. That's it. It's the champion is built out of that. For anything.
That's beautiful.
That's it.
That's
And
a
it's true.
very
That's
good
very good
answer.
That's
Thank
the best
you.
answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Don't let your ego slap you in the. You when you really go deep inside,
Mm.
you're going to understand is that your ego is talking so loud because you
Exactly.
want to. And you gotta say,
That's
all
it.
right, man. Okay.
That's it.
But that's what we were saying. Merritt was saying this. When you talk about going with someone that is open, this person has to be open to listen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And you have somebody that is prepared to identify things like that, and you give someone a tip, an advice, or hey man, stop self-hating.
Yeah.
And this person is open to understand this.
Mm.
And he says, "Oh man, this is for my own good." Yeah, yeah, she was right about that.
Yeah.
You know, if the person is open for that, wonderful, man. That's the self improvement right there.
Yeah.
You gotta be open. You know, you gotta be open. You gotta be humble. You gotta get a good definition of common sense from that. You know, that's it.
I'll be right back. I need to get something. I'll be right back.
Okay, now I wonder what he. But then I finish with my question. I wonder where he's. I have no clue. This is first time ever. I'm feeling that Jason is hanging, like leaving me hanging on like a TV show right now. But I have a question for you that kind of when we finish up. I feel we have gotten a lot of life lessons right now from you. But we have listeners all over the world. Very grateful for them. And we have people that do martial arts and doesn't do martial arts. And most of them doesn't. But what would you say will be a life lesson you could share with them? If they're going to do one thing, what would that be?
If you want to do one thing, find find passion, find the why you're doing it. You know, it's everybody said that. It's not my line, but you you know, you were born two times. When you were born physically and when you find out why you were born. And that changes everything. For me, I do know why I'm doing this. It may not be the most financially rewarding, you know, but I know why I'm doing this. And this is really, really makes me, it makes me happier. I'm saying this, it just makes me much happier person to know why I'm doing things. Sometimes all the ghosts come into your mind. Ghosts will come to your mind. What I call that the inner bitch. The inner bitch
Yeah, I
is
love
gonna
that.
come to your mind.
Yeah.
That inner bitch, the inner bitch is that one who's telling you to sleep 5 more minutes. The inner bitch is the one that telling you, hey, you gotta wake up 6 o'clock to go to Marit and I'll sleep 5 more minutes. No, don't listen to the inner bitch. You don't listen to the inner bitch is gonna be the one that when you're going to compete or you're going to a meeting or you're going to have something that's important, is going to be telling you, now you're not going to be successful. You're going to lose. You're going to do this. You're going to embarrass yourself. And the moment that you understand that that inner bitch, it's controllable. Controllable is not avoidable. It's going to be there. It will be there. But when you're mature enough to not listen to the inner bitch and do what you have to do, your life gets better because you know that you can't not listen. I'm not saying that the inner bitch is always going to be there. It's your thoughts. They will come in bubbles. It's just when you listen too much and you turn your face to it, and that's when you're absorbed by that negative thought. But you know that it's there, and you still continue doing what you're going to do. You kind of learn the triggers. You learn and you start to listen to it. Stop listening to it. Do what you have to do. You know, discipline helps a lot with that, but you can't listen to the inner bitch. You can. You know, the inner bitch is always going to come.
Thank
Do
you.
not listen
That's
to
a
the inner bitch.
wonderful answer. So before we finish up, Jason brought something.
Yeah, this is. I just wanted to show you something that makes me more proud than me getting my doctor's title, me getting my practice up and moving. It makes me more proud than so many of the things that people would think of as achievements in my life. But this, my friend, when I got this from you,
Yes, you
the
So-
black belt in jiu-jitsu, this made me more
Yes, you
proud.
did.
It made me more proud to be in your lineage because you are you. You represent what I feel is the full package in
Thank you.
in not just martial arts, not just as in being a human being, but being a member and a leader of communities, plural. I'm so proud to be associated with you. Thank you so much for coming today.
well,
I'll tell you this.
I needed to
I am
add. I'm
so
even
proud
luckier because I have him and you before me.
Thank
So
you.
I'm even luckier. I have two. I have one and two.
Thank you.
Since you had one, it's good, but I have two.
I'm very honored by all of you guys, you know, from the get-go. The people that you see that this is so much better. The love is so much better than the hate, in my opinion. Some people can't live it just with that. People get to live with a lot of bit of, you know, drama in their lives, and no, not for me. I love being around good people. I want to more and more being around good people. Good people does not mean that people are perfect because they will never be. Good people have their own problems too.
Yeah.
That's the duality of man. The duality of man is it's not just light. It's darkness and light the whole time.
Yeah.
But it is more darkness than light. Or should it be more light than darkness? I'm saying surround yourself, create communities, help people. Helping is for me one of my DNAs and goals, and you guys are so attached to this. I think it's just nothing to do with me directly. It's just I came first. I'm older, but I believe that you guys will be surrounded of good people regardless you will, because it's in your DNA. I am just honored and glad that you guys are in the same community. You're part of the same family in the same branch, and with his jiu-jitsu that connects us, you know, it's not about the arm bars. It's not about the rear naked tricks. Not at all. It's not. It's about us. It's about community. It's about how we can help more people, and we can inspire more people, or motivate more people, or discipline more people, and just make it grow so more people can see the benefits of being part of something good.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if you can have a great quality of a sport if there's the communities around you. It's not, you know.
Exactly.
And love is the base of what we're doing. It is
Yes.
love. It
It
really
is.
is. With no shame. With
Yeah.
no shame.
That's it.
It's love. It's kindness. You know, and it's hard to be kind and loving and good. It's easier to be to put a walls.
Yeah.
That's real reality. It's easier to separate people.
Yeah.
It's much easier than bring a lot of people in and try to see the light in everyone.
Yeah.
You know, but just keep doing it, because it's not going to be without failure. It's not going to be without it. But it's okay. We're going to keep going, and we're going to keep doing it. And we're going to lose some, and going to win some, and life is still beautiful. We're going to keep doing it. You know, keep it writing the way we're doing. You know. But anyhow, anyway, I love you guys.
Love
I'll
you
be here
too.
for
Thank
guys,
you.
and as long as I'm alive, you guys know this. You know, and I'm very proud of you, all of you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And thank you
I
very
do
much.
have to go. I have people calling me right now.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. We know.
Thank you
Love
so
you.
much.
Love you
Love
too.
you too. Bye.
Bye-bye. So remember, you matter. unless you multiply yourself by the speed of light squared, then you're energy. But if you can't be energy, matter.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope you felt we added something to your day and hopefully your life. If you want to learn more, subscribe to our newsletter and find us at integrated-human.com. That is integrated-human.com. Integrated Human on YouTube and other social media platforms. Have a great day and thank you again for listening. Love, light, and upgrade from us at the Integrated Human team.